Have you ever had someone that vouched for you and you let them down? How did it make you feel? Well, let me take you back to 1991, where I was a student at Niagara University, part of the Niagara University Opportunity Program. And that program was for students that were financially and academically disadvantaged. So this particular morning, we were having our mid-year evaluations to discuss our academic progress. So here we have it. Nervous times that morning, nervous times. So I enter into the NUOP office. I smell fresh coffee brewing from the secretary's office. I pass by a couple offices. Then I finally arrive to the conference room. I look in. I see Tony Miller, one of the academic counselors, Pat Kenner, the director of NUOP, and Connie Matthews, the assistant director. I knock on the door. Bum, 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 bum. They say, "Come on in, David." I come in. Said, "Have a seat." They're sitting in a circular setup. So as I sit, we share our pleasantries. How you doing? Good morning. How's everybody doing? So then Pat Kenner goes through, pulls out the transcript, and starts talking about the standard of academic progress, which basically talks about at a certain, each semester you're supposed to be at a certain level far as your GPA and credit hour. So she pulls out the transcript, scans it, and then proceeds to ask me, "David, is there any obstacles that's standing in your way to being successful here at Niagara University?" I say, sitting there, "No, not really. I work on the weekends. I hang out with my friends, but it's nothing major." Okay, she nods her head. Next question was from Connie Matthews. It went something like, "So David, are there any particular classes that's causing you difficulties that you may need some assistance with?" I say, "There's some difficult classes, but it's nothing I can't handle." And then finally, Tony asked me, "David, do you want to be here?" That kind of stunned me. I paused for a second and I said, "Yeah." But there was no follow-up with me. There was no explanation. There was no me trying to sell them that I wanted to be there. I just kind of said, "Yeah." So they all kind of jointly come back and say, "We noticed that you had said nothing that you can't handle, but that's the problem. You're not handling it. You're not doing well. This is where you're at as far as your academic progress." I sit there and think for a while, and I said to myself, they're correct. I'm not handling it. So in the conclusion of the meeting, they asked me, what am I going to do different? How are things going to change so the next time we meet, it would be a different meeting or a different vibe, a different feeling. I gave them the spiel of, well, I'm just going to do better. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to ask for help. And I'm going to do what I need to do. And that kind of concluded the meeting. So I walked out, Walking out. Tony stops me and says, "Hey, David, could you come to my office for a second?" I go in his office. He says, "Shut the door and have a seat." So then he says to me, "What the hell is your problem?" And I say, "What?" He said, "You were in there. That wasn't a true representation of who you are, what you stand for. You gave nonchalant answers. Basically, you disappointed me because I always vouch for you. I know that you had a semester or two that you had maybe a bad schedule, a combination of classes, but I always said, D will get back on track. Trust me. This is not him. He will get back on track because I believed you could do it." Silence from me. And I thought to myself, I wasn't handling it. I never got back on track. So then he said, "Are you trying to be Joe Cool? Joe Fool?" So I kind of scanned around the room and kind of thought about that. He said, "Because look, your boys that were here with you that came into the program, they've been academically dismissed. They're no longer here. Are you next?" I say, "No." He says, "What if you get dismissed? What are you going to tell your mother? What are you going to tell your grandmother? Did you ever think about that you got siblings, younger siblings, your brothers, and your sister, and you're supposed to be a role model to? Man, what are you going to do?" Now I'm thinking, and I'm getting a little upset, voice cracking, and he proceeds to go on and says, "If you get kicked out of school, what are you going to do? Go stand on the corner, sell drugs, work at McDonald's? Or you just going to be a knucklehead like the rest of the people that you possibly know?" I say, "No, I'm not." I said, "I'm going to do better. That's all I could do. Do better. I'm going to do better. Trust me. Trust me, I'm going to do better. I'm going to change things." He kind of dismissed me at that point and says, "You're dismissed. I'm kind of done with you right now. I don't have no words." That feeling almost made tears roll down my eyes. But I didn't want that to happen because I didn't want to cry in front of another man. So I go back to my room. I sit on the edge of my bed and I say to myself, damn, I don't have no skill set. Like, I'm not good at art. I'm not good at carpentry or building things with my hand. All I ever known was college. My dream was to come to Niagara University to get a degree. And I'm struggling. I'm at a loss. And no, I don't want to sell drugs. I don't want to work at McDonald's. What will I do? I never thought about that plan. Because my plan was always to come here and to get a degree. And I wanted to get it in marketing. So, sitting there and tears start rolling down my eyes. And I said to myself, I'm not going to be hanging out in the student center anymore. I'm going to have my butt in the library, or I'm going to be in my room studying. I'm going to talk to my professors to get extra help. I'm going to utilize the New Op Learning Center. I'm going to do everything I have to turn things around. I don't want to disappoint my mother, my grandmother, Tony, who vouched for me, my brothers and sisters. Hell, my community. Stuff got to change. And they did change. I did what I said I was going to do. I started getting better grades on my projects. I started getting better grades on my test. Then one day I happened to go to Tony's office again because I was happy. I just got a project back, just got a test back, and I wanted to show him. When I get there and I hand it to him, he says, "What are you showing me this for?" I said, "Because I did well." And he says, "I don't need to see this because I always knew that you could do it." Look, David, you just happened to disappoint me. I always spoke highly of you. You were different. For your age group of people that I've been around, you were always different. So when I spoke and gave my recommendation, I gave my highest recommendation for you. You let me down, man. But I'm proud of you right now. That's a true testament of a man. You did what you said you were going to do, and you did it. And I'm proud of you that you made a change. Wow. Those words kind of resonated through me because I always wanted to hear those words from my father. I never did. So, my final words to you. If you're struggling with work, school, friendships, relationships, and you're simply just trying to fit in with others, think about those words Tony asked me. Are you trying to be Joe Cool, Joe Fool? If so, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because everything you work for could be taken away that fast. Just like that. Almost lost everything. Thanks to that conversation with Tony, it saved me. And I went on to get my degree from Niagara, my bachelor's in social science. Now I have my master's in counseling education from Niagara University as well. So again, that saved me. Thanks, Tony. I needed that.